topodds.com. Top Odds Compare on Twitter. They give us the full rundown on where to make money in sport. Brandon from Top Odds, I see on your front page you've got some of these intriguing friendlies: England, Peru, Norway, Russia, Italy, Republic of Ireland, pre-World Cup friendlies. To some they matter nothing, but to people betting, England versus Peru is quite an interesting game.
Yeah, most definitely, Neil. Friendlies, if you're a professional punter, not many guys like to get involved because you don't know who's putting their all into every single game, although these are qualifiers or friendlies before the World Cup, so you would think that Roy Hodgson will be changing his team up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to find the right combinations. I was watching Sky Sports the other day where they made it pretty clear that, in the striking department, who does he play? Does he go with Sturridge and Rooney? Does he play Welbeck? So there's a lot of Ricky Lambert's there as well. So there's a lot of combinations that I think he needs to get right before the World Cup. And, they're going to use these friendlies to do that. So I don't know if that's the right thing to be betting on.
No, I mean, friendlies are very, very difficult to bet on. But then, what was interesting for me about the South Africa-Australia friendly earlier this week was that the Australians were playing for their place in the World Cup squad. Two of them got cut the next day. Australia were on their best behaviour, about to leave for Brazil. 50,000 people in Sydney, and a makeshift Bafana held them to a 1-1 draw. And actually, at the end, South Africa looked the better side, I was quite astonished by that Australia couldn't quite pull it out of the bag. I suppose you've got to worry about injuries, haven't you, just before Brazil as well? You don't want to get crocked just before the World Cup.
That's it. I mean, you think about it. I mean, a guy like Wayne Rooney surely is not going to be putting in 100% in a friendly against Peru. And risky's his tournament life, if you'd like to call it that. And the South African game, I thought Australia was certainties to win that.
Yeah, me too.
Alan Bookmaker and World Sports Betting, they were at 6-10 to beat Bafana, and we lost our money. But that's why I say friendlies are fairly difficult to get involved in. What I'd like to turn your attention to, and I think this is a very, very interesting betting market with regards to the World Cup, which starts in, I think it's 14 days. And that is, if you click on Top Odds on the left-hand side and you click on Soccer Future, you'll see that slowly, day by day, the bookmakers are bringing out their exotics for the tournament. And a major exotic that I think South Africans and Africans in general will be very interested in, that is the top African team. So this is basically where you take a bet on the African side that you think will go the furthest in the tournament. So we know that the African sides at the moment are Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Algeria. And if you have a look at the betting, World Sports Betting have Ivory Coast up at 5-4, and Alan Bookmaker up at 13-10 for the Ivory Coast to be the best African side at the tournament. What is your take on that?
Right, I've had a good look at this. Ivory Coast are ranked 21, but the golden generation aren't getting any younger. Yaya Toure was the best player in the English Premiership last season, without question. Forget Suarez. Toure should have walked away with all the awards. 22 goals, playing in midfield, fantastic player. But his brother's getting older. He's always in the side. Didier Drogba is nearly as old as Methuselah. He's obviously, he still gets goals. He's still got a great nose for it. I think we're relying with the Ivory Coast too much on age and experience and name. I'm looking at Ghana. The way they beat Egypt in that home playoff, the 6-0 game, means to me that Ghana have got players that we don't know as well. And obviously they got the end of the previous generation in Ghana. Nigeria, under Steve Kessie, continually confound and astound, although they didn't do great in the Confederations Cup in Brazil. And then Cameroon and Algeria, don't know enough about Algeria. They're 25th ranked, so they're the second ranked African side. I'd probably put money on Ghana to be Africa's best performing side, just like they were in 2010, where they were robbed by that same man, Suarez.
Well, you have a look at the betting on Ghana. World Sports Betting up at 23-10, and Alan Bookmaker up at 5-2. So that's just under 3-1. I mean, well, not under 3-1. Halfway between the two. It's much better value than Ivory Coast, which is an aging squad. But this is Ghana's first World Cup with an African coach. Yeah. I know that he's done well. But, maybe that lack of experience going to a big tournament might just count against them. I'm looking at Nigeria, where World Sports Betting have the best price at 7-2, Alan Bookmaker at 28-10, and they might just sneak their way, into quarters. I don't know if they'll be the top finishing African side, but maybe that's just a little bit of value. I don't think I can back Cameroon at 9-1, and Algeria, as you say, the second best ranked African side of the tournament. It's at 14-1 with World Sports Betting and 18-1 with Alan Bookmaker. So they're completely writing them off in terms of the African sides.
Yeah, I mean a lot depends on the groups, how it works out in terms of other results. But I mean, if you look at Ivory Coast's group, it's not bad. I mean, I know Japan out-qualified Australia, but we've just seen how bad Australia are. Colombia went to Europe and got, I think they beat Belgium 2-0 in Belgium, while Chile were beating England 2-0 at Wembley. I think Colombia are going to top that group. And then you've got a clash between Greece and Ivory Coast to get out of Group C. So, I'm looking at Ivory Coast having a pretty surefire route to the last 16, whereas Ghana are in the same group as Germany and Portugal and the USA, who you can't write off, even though we like to every World Cup. That's the problem. That's why the Ivory Coast have to be... Right.
The Nigerian group?
Mate, if you look at the Nigerian group, Iran are under Carlos Queiroz, who's a cleverer man, than he gets credit for. They out-qualified South Korea in their group. They're not bad. Bosnia-Herzegovina have these old Yugoslav players and sons of, and they're not a bad side, Bosnia, but they're not highly ranked. And Argentina will absolutely walk that group. And then it's a matter of Nigeria, Iran or Bosnia. So Nigeria have a surefire way out of that group, I think, compared to Ghana having to take on Germany and Portugal, where half of the, there are a lot of sympathisers for Germany, and if Ronaldo's fit, Portugal will go through. So, yeah, you're right. Nigeria and Ivory Coast have the easiest way out of their groups. To finish top two in those two groups won't be as difficult as it is for Ghana. If Ghana do finish top two in Group G, we know they're serious contenders.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Nigeria is good value in the group that they're in. They should at least come second and get into the last 16. Yeah. But it's a very, very interesting market. Another interesting market is the Golden Boot. It always is. And if we have a look there, it's nice to put his attention because, I mean, in this situation where you're picking the guy to be the top goal scorer of the tournament, you need to obviously pick a striker whose side's going to get to the final. So everything's interlinked. With your side being in the final and then having that extra 90 minutes to win the Golden Boot. And it's Lionel Messi with both bookmakers, that's World Sports Betting and Alan Bookmaker, who's topping the charts at 8-1. I'm not too sure about Messi in this World Cup. He's been unhappy at Barcelona. He doesn't generally play as well for Argentina as he does for his club side. And I just think, maybe the likes of, Neymar, who I expect Brazil to get to the final at 13-1. Yep. And 14-1 with Alan Bookmaker might just be the value.
Brilliant bet. Because I see, actually, in the qualifying, of course, Brazil didn't play in the qualifiers, so that really throws us out in terms of what we call CONMEBOL, which fascinates me because there are only 10 sides in Latin America, and yet 5 of them qualify. Uruguay had to beat Jordan in a playoff to get through. So 5 sides out of 10 from South America have already qualified, plus Brazil. But in that qualifying group, which Argentina topped ahead of Colombia, who had Falcao, obviously, you had Higuain was top scorer and Messi was second top scorer with 8. So he is getting goals for Argentina after years of questions about his international form. But you're right. I think to bet on Messi to be top scorer at the World Cup is almost too obvious. Every World Cup side are going to be going out to nobble him. And I think that Neymar is a good bet because people think he falls over too easily and he's not quite the finished product. But at home in Brazil, where he stayed a bit longer than some, domestically he's well fancied. He'll have the home backing. He knows the conditions, and I think Neymar would be a pretty good bet. Obviously behind Wayne Rooney.
Well, have a look at Wayne Rooney's price. So Wayne Rooney's at 40-1.
40-1, brilliant bet, mate.
And
Listen,
and top goal scorer. And then just another one. I mean, if you look at Uruguay, okay. If Suarez doesn't make it, okay, then it's Edinson Cavani that's going to lead that line.
True.
Am I correct in saying that?
True.
And Cavani's up at 35-1, and I like Uruguay to make a deep run into this tournament. I mean, they're basically at home.
Yeah, listen.
35-1. You never know.
Mate, look at the world rankings there. I know Spain, Germany, Portugal, the top 3, but 4 Brazil, 5 Colombia, 6 Uruguay, 7 Argentina. Those are the 4 sides that'll win this World Cup. And whoever plays up front for Uruguay in the end, if it's not Suarez, if Suarez suffers an injury, if Argentina, if Messi doesn't make it, those are the guys that are going to score potloads of goals, I think. I mean, I think Argentina in that group could easily get 10, 12 goals, and that will be it. That will seal it. I mean, Gary Lineker won it with 6 twice, didn't he, in 90 and 94? And, that's enough. 6 goals, bang, you're done, you're finished.
Well, I mean, if that's your view, then, you've got to be looking at Aguero as well at 16-1.
Absolutely.
with both bookmakers.
Kun
If
Aguero.
Messi doesn't fire, surely, I put him to be top scorer before Messi, and I think, if you look at it, he's double the odds.
Yeah, I like it. But then, I mean, okay, if we count Germany out because that Group G is too tough. Group B, we're looking at France and Switzerland. This is the thing that also gets me. I mean, I just can't believe that they're there. All right, Brandon. Okay, so your final take on the Golden Boot. Who do we get behind?
Jeez, I would have to put some money on Neymar.
Yeah, Neymar at 14-1, you said. Yeah, Aguero. What's Aguero's odds?
Aguero is at 16-1.
16-1, yeah, that's not bad, is it?
And if Suarez makes it, I mean, you can't leave him out. But at the moment, you've got to wait to see if he's fit enough.
If he's fully fit,
he might just be a Rooney with a broken toe at this tournament. You never know. And then if Falcao makes it as well, I mean, he's up there at 30-1. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
I got Falcao, Colombia written in brackets. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, Brandon.
But I do think that most of the goals will come in the group stages. So whoever's got an easier group, maybe Argentina's the way with the top goal scorer because they'll be hard to catch. If you get 8 in the group stages, you don't even have to get to the final, and you still might win it.
Too right. Brandon, great stuff. Good to speak to you in our new format, and we'll be getting back to you next week, and we'll be getting our World Cup bets, Golden Boot and Country, on as soon as we can. That's www.tokodds.com. Go on the internet, go down to soccer, find your bet.
Balls.co.za